Hello, everybody. Did you know that 77% of teachers in America are female and that women are becoming active in almost every labor force in America? How did women acquire the rights to do so? Well, let me introduce you to the Seneca Falls Convention. So, what is the Seneca Falls Convention? The Seneca Falls Convention occurred in Seneca Falls, New York in July 1848, led by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott. This event was able to provide women with the ability to discuss their rights and protest against their rights that they were given. In America during this time, women had very few rights due to unequal treatment from males, and they predominantly remained in the household and were used to breed children and complete household tasks, and they just generally took care of the children and didn't really do much outside. Additionally, the general goal of the Seneca Falls Convention was to move towards equal rights, and this was marked as the beginning of the fight for equal rights, as well as the accredited source of the 19th Amendment, which later came about in around 1919 to 1920. How does the Seneca Falls Convention relate to our course material in American literature? In American literature, Elizabeth Cady Stanton is a popular writer and activist who wrote and published 3 volumes of history of women's suffrage. These are prominent in American history and literature as they provide heavy emphasis on women's rights as a whole. Additionally, the Seneca Falls Convention is a precursor for an assignment that we have in the future about Sojourner Truth's speech at the Akron, Ohio 1851 Women's Rights Convention. As mentioned previously, the Seneca Falls Convention end goal was for women to gain the right to vote, which was later established in the 19th Amendment, and for women to gain general rights as a whole compared to men. It's important to note that life before the Seneca Falls Convention, that women were relatively unheard of in politics. The first woman that was able to vote is known as Lydia Taft, who voted for her husband from 1756 to 1765. However, this was prior to America's Declaration of Independence. Women remained in the house and completed household chores and cared for the family and the children. They were not to complete any duties outside of the house, and men were to own property and do all the voting and community work. Although women deeply cherished their husbands, most women felt inferior to men. However, this wasn't spoken about due to the fact that women felt as if they were unable to. As time went on, eventually July 1848 rolled around, which is when the Seneca Falls Convention occurred. This was the first organized public setting where women felt empowered to share their thoughts on women's rights. This was organized by popular activists Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott, and over 200 women attended. The women liked the concept of continual freedom after their husbands were away at war because they took up tasks like their husbands' jobs and went outside of the home and were able to make communal decisions. They liked this and wanted to continue to fight for their rights, which this led to other events occurring such as the Akron, Ohio Convention of 1851, eventually leading to the 19th Amendment being made. After the Seneca Falls Convention, women's rights began to be pushed on the nation, and popular activists such as Susan B. Anthony, who were inspired by the activists of the Seneca Falls Convention, were able to push for the creation of the 19th Amendment, which created rights for women. At this time, women did not have many rights, but now that they were able to use their rights in the community, they wanted to continue to expand these rights. Although we're still fighting for equal rights in the labor force today, we have better rights than we had then. With all this information about the before, during, and after of the Seneca Falls Convention, why is the Seneca Falls Convention so significant? Well, thanks to the Seneca Falls Convention and various other tactics of the women's rights movement, women are able to be present outside of the home and take part in the community. Women are able to participate in politics and do regular things they couldn't have done in the 1800s and 1900s. With that being said, women like me have more rights, and women are able to go to school and do other things and just generally be able to live a similar life to men of the American country, thanks to the Seneca Falls Convention. In conclusion, the Seneca Falls Convention was able to give outlet to many women to speak on their rights and to promote suffrage, thus giving us the right to vote and all the rights we have available today. So it shaped the lives of many American women. Without the Seneca Falls Convention, however, it's likely that the women's suffrage movement would be pushed several decades back, allowing women not to have gained the rights as early as they did. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding this subject. Thank you!